Good evening. The school board meeting is taking place on Treaty 1 land and the traditional homeland of the Métis Nation. If you were waiting for us to start at home, thanks for your patience. Mr. Cochin, can you proceed to the roll call?
Roll call for the regular board meeting of the Winnipeg School Division for February 6, 2017. Trustee Friedman.
Present.
Trustee Reed.
Present.
Trustee Collins.
Present.
Trustee Koszalanek. Trustee Babinski.
Yes.
Trustee Wasilyu.
Here.
Trustee Broughton.
Present.
Trustee Naylor.
Present.
Trustee Rollins.
Present. Approval of the agenda. Moved by Trustee Friedman, seconded by Trustee Naylor, that the agenda be approved. Are there any additions? All those in favor? Any opposed? Carried. Reading and confirming of minutes, moved by Trustee Collins, seconded by Trustee Wasilyu, that the minutes dated January 16, 2017 be approved as distributed. All those in favor? Any opposed? Carried. Reading of communications and petitions, moved by Trustee Naylor and seconded by Trustee Wasilyu, thank you. That OC 0117 from Charlotte Sintitnik, Director of Development, Mood Disorders Association of Manitoba, providing information regarding their new mental health program for students be referred to administration for review. All those in favor? Any opposed? Carried. Moved by Trustee Babinski and seconded by Trustee Reed that OCO 217 from Oscar Mateo, CEO Roykin Language Laboratories and Multimedia Classrooms, providing information regarding their customized education technology be referred to administration for review. All those in favor? Any opposed? Carried. Presentation and considerations of reports. The Superintendent's Report number 2, 2017 on various schools, closed circuit television installation upgrade. There's a recommendation. Moved by Trustee Wasilyu, seconded by Trustee Naylor, that the tender of More Light Electric Limited to supply all material and perform all work in connection with the closed circuit television CCTV installation upgrade phase 8 project at 4 schools, Quayston, Rockwood, Lord Roberts, and Naverandri, be accepted in accordance with the plans and specifications therefore, for the total amount of $62,618.91 being the tender price, including provincial sales tax, excluding goods and services tax, and that the proper officers of the division be authorized to enter into the contract with More Light Electric Limited for the carrying out of the work. All those in favor? Do you have a discussion?
Question. Yeah.
Trustee Babinski, yeah, go ahead.
The question I have is, the lowest we picked was 62,000.
Yes.
The highest was 151,000.
So,
What if there was only one bid that came in at 151,000?
We would probably be reconsidering and we had an estimate that would have put it around the $80,000 mark, so we would have been, obviously not accepting the $150,000.
Thank you.
thank you, Trustee Babinski. So is there any opposed? Okay, carried. David Livingston School Nutrition Kitchen and Washroom renovations. There's a recommendation moved by Trustee Wasilyu and seconded by Trustee Babinski that the tender of J5 Construction Limited to supply all material and perform all work in connection with the nutrition kitchen and washroom renovations project at David Livingston School be accepted in accordance with the plans and specifications therefore, for the total amount of $180,000 being the tender price, including provincial sales tax, excluding goods and services tax, and that the proper officers of the division be authorized to enter into a contract with J5 Construction Limited for the carrying out of the work. All those in favor? Any opposed? Carried. Thank you. Presentation and consideration of reports. We moved that along. Thank you very much. Finance Personnel Committee number 1, 2017, dated January 16, 2017, moved by Trustee Broughton, seconded by Trustee Friedman, that the Finance Personnel Committee report number 1, 2017, dated January 16, 2017, be received as information. All those in favor? Any opposed? Carried. There are no recommendations, of course. Pension Committee Report number 1, 2017, dated January 18, 2017, moved by Trustee Collins, seconded by Trustee Reed, that the Pension Committee Report number 1, 2017, dated January 18, be received as information. All those in favor? Any opposed? Carried. Trustee Collins, did you have any recommendations?
Yes, I do have a recommendation. I would like to move that effective January 1st, 2017, the COLA not be adjusted until a full plan design review is complete and the financial position of the entire plan improves.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor? Oh, you need a seconder, sorry. Trustee Collins, it was trustee Reed, yes? Okay. All those in favor? Any opposed? Carried. Building Transportation Committee number 1, 2017, dated January 19th, 2017.
This one.
5-4?
Sorry, Public Relations Communications Committee report number 1, 2017, dated January 18, 2017, moved by trustee, I need trustee Wassiliou and seconded by trustee Broughton, thank you. That the Public Relations Communications Committee report number 1, 2017, dated January 18, 2017, be received as information. All those in favor? Any opposed? Carried. There were no recommendations. Building Transportation Committee number 1, 2017, dated January 19th, 2017, moved by trustee Wassiliou, seconded by trustee Collins, that the Building Transportation Committee report number 1, 2017, dated January 19th, 2017, be received as information. All those in favor? Any opposed? Carried. Trustee Wassiliou, did you have any recommendations?
I do. I move that the request for adult crossing guard at Lord Nelson School be approved.
Do you have a seconder? Thank you, trustee Collins. All those in favor?
No,
Or did
I
you have
have
a
a-
discussion, trustee Broughton?
Sorry, Chair.
No, that's,
Given the issues facing the Winnipeg School Division from a budget development standpoint, I would like to move that this issue be referred to the Finance Personnel Committee as part of ongoing budget deliberations.
Seconded.
okay, seconded by trustee Babinski. Is there any further discussion on that motion? Go ahead, trustee Wassiliou.
This school is on Phillips Avenue, and it's an extremely busy and dangerous road, and it's an elementary school. We have a request made in good faith by the school saying that for safety reasons, they need an adult crossing guard. It's a major road. Obviously, this is going to be an issue for budget discussions, but at this point, we should approve it, and they should get that help in place. And then if we decide to reduce it afterwards, then we'll deal with it at that time. But we haven't made that decision. These people need help now, and we shouldn't be deferring it.
Just a point of
Trustee
order.
Broughton, go ahead.
Just to clarify with the administration, I do not believe there's debate allowed on a referral motion.
I think that that's what we were gonna talk about next. Yes, so, does anyone have anything else to say with respect to the discussion on the referral to budget? Are we ready to vote
For the referral.
for the referral?
Okay.
Yeah. Are you ready?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Make
so-
a motion for a recorded vote.
Sure. Trustee Friedman, thank you for the second on the recorded vote. All right, so, we'll wait for Mr. Cogent.
You have to vote on the recording.
Oh, sorry, all those in favor on the recorded vote, my apologies.
Yes.
Thank you, it's carried. Sorry about that. Okay, Mr. Cogent, your motion is
Okay.
to refer to budget discussions, the matter of the adult crossing guard.
Okay, call for the recorded vote.
Yes.
Trustee Friedman.
No.
Trustee Reed.
Yes.
Trustee Collins.
No.
Trustee Babinski.
Yes.
Trustee Wassiliou.
No.
Trustee Broughton.
Yes.
Trustee Naylor.
No.
Trustee Rollins.
Yeah,
4-4.
So the motion's defeated.
okay. So back to the approval of the adult crossing guard. All those in favor? Any opposed? Here. Policy,
Clarification?
yeah,
Was there a majority vote on that?
yes, there was.
Okay. Thank you.
I don't know, I thought it was tied.
I have other recommendations.
Go ahead.
I move that the authority be granted to the division to purchase 7 buses through the 2017 Central School Bus Tender.
For a seconder, trustee Collins, all those in favor? Any opposed? All right, the motion is carried. Any further recommendations? Trustee Vasiliu? That was
I have, sorry. I move that the division contact Green Action Center conduct safety audits on the existing transportation routes for George V, Mulvey, Nijimakwa, Norquay, and Victoria Albert schools. Just a point of order, can I speak on this motion to give some context?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, for sure.
Do I do it now, or do we have to?
Just ask for a slight
Second.
seconder on your motion. No, thank you, Trustee Friedman. Go ahead, Trustee
All right.
Vasiliu.
Now, what this came out of is we asked the division to look at possible reductions. We have at least 5 schools, these ones here, that have special circumstances for busing, and basically what that means is there's safety issues. Some of the students going to school have to cross dangerous zones and that sort of thing. And the idea behind this is to contract with the Green Action Center to do a transportation audit in each school to see if we can find, from the school's perspective, alternative ways to get these students to school without the use of busing, and actually to reduce busing. So the intent of spending this money is to actually save money in the end through less transportation costs. So that's why we're making this recommendation.
Okay, thank you, Trustee Friedman.
Just a quick question for the committee. This motion, as I read it, would just be to contact them? This would not tie us into an actual contract?
No. I guess the idea is the administration will work out some proposal. The proposal then goes back to the committee for discussion and obviously further information to the board, and then there'd be a vote to whether we proceed that. But this is the initial for permission for them to pursue that avenue of questioning.
Are we ready to vote on the recommendation, or is there any further discussion? Okay, all those in favor? Any opposed? Carried.
And I have a further recommendation. It's moved that Ecole J.B. Mitchell School receive funding up to $20,000 to support the cost of a stage and ramp, and this is out of our disability fund.
It's on, not out of the disability fund per se. It's on.
Universal Access Playground
Yes.
is the proper way of saying that, yes.
Okay. Are you ready to vote? Any discussion? You need a seconder. Trustee Collins for the second. All those in favor? Any opposed? Carried.
And out of that same fund, it's moved that the Tyndall Park Community School receive funding up to $20,000 pending review of the design of the playground structures with the building department.
Thank you, Trustee Collins for the second. All those in favor? Any opposed? Carried. That's good work. Thank you very much. Governance Committee Report number, policy program. I'm one ahead all night. One ahead all night, folks. Thanks for your patience. Policy Program Committee Report number 1, 2017, dated January 23rd, 2017. Moved by Trustee Naylor, seconded by Trustee Broughton, that the Policy Program Committee Report number 1, 2017, dated January 23rd, 2017, be received as information. There were no recommendations. All those in favor? Any opposed? Carried. The Governance Committee Report number 1, 2017, dated January 24, 2017. Moved by Trustee Friedman, seconded by Trustee Naylor, that the Governance Committee Report number 1, 2017, dated January 24, 2017, be received as information. All those in favor? Any discussion? Any opposed? Carried. Trustee Friedman, did you have any recommendations?
Yes, I have a few. Thank you, Mr. Chair. The first recommendation is that revised policy AG-AB, recognition for special accomplishments, be approved.
All those in favor? Oh, sorry, I needed a seconder for that. Trustee Broughton, thank you. All those in favor? Any opposed? Carried. Go ahead.
That revised policy BF, board policy development, be approved.
And can I have a seconder? Thank you, Trustee Broughton. All those in favor? Any opposed? Carried.
That no revisions to policy BFCA, board review of administrative rules, be approved.
Thank you, Trustee Naylor, for a seconder. All those in favor? Any opposed? Carried.
And that no revisions to policy GAB, management rights, be approved.
Thank you, Trustee Naylor, for the second. All those in favor? Any opposed? Carried. Thank you. Inquiries and announcements. Trustee Reed. Anyone else? Anyone else? Go ahead, Trustee Reed.
Thank you, Chair.
Over the past couple of weeks, I've had the pleasure of visiting several schools in Ward 7. I have recently visited Lord Selkirk, Luxton, River Elm, Northway, and Glen Elm. I would like to acknowledge the work each school is doing and how they're able to identify and adapt to each of the area's unique challenges and opportunities. I would like to thank the staff and students for being so welcoming, and I look forward to visiting with them again.
Thank you, Trustee. Trustee Vasily.
On January 26, 2017, I had the pleasure of attending the Cold River Heights Winter Band Concert. Again, packed gymnasium. The program there is vibrant and growing. They added another teacher to the program. They also added a wind ensemble this year on top of a jazz band and a grade 7 and 8 concert band. Just wanted to congratulate the teachers and staff for all their hard work. It's absolutely amazing watching these grade 7 students who've only had their instruments for a couple months and how talented they become in just such a short period of time. The grade 8 band will blow you away at how good they are, and I wish them all the best, and certainly look forward to our art strategy being released soon so we can see how further we can help and support our staff and students. I also have January 26, 2017, Prime Minister's visit to Robert H. Smith School. I wanted to let the board know about that really interesting afternoon. I was there along with Trustee Broughton and our senior staff as the Prime Minister visited our school. Very proud of the staff and students there. They were extremely well organized. The questions that they gave were thoughtful and probing and could teach the media a thing or two, including one of our students making national news with his question. I know the kid personally. I coached him football this summer, so I was, yeah. And if, for those of you that didn't know, the Prime Minister, and you could tell that he had a teaching background, ended the encounter with an impromptu game of Simon Says, and I'm very proud to report that a number of Robert H. students outwitted our Prime Minister, which only speaks to good things to our future. So, and finally, on January 27, 2017, I appeared at La Vérendrye School gym opening. I had the pleasure to host this with other trustees in the ward, and we had our esteemed chair give wonderful, warm, and elegant remarks, but with a tinge of politics to it, and I certainly appreciated that in her very gentle way. We received a tour of the building, and they converted the old gymnatorium, I believe they call it, and they put basically floor-to-ceiling windows in there, and they're turning it into a modern library learning commons. It's going to be absolutely state-of-the-art. It's beautiful. Any student would want to spend time in there. They also have a state-of-the-art music room, and it's very warm and inviting, and it gives you a glimpse of what our schools could look like if our government puts the resources into them. And hopefully we can convince our government to partner with us and to renovate more of our schools. I want to congratulate the staff, both past and present, and the community that made it possible. They fundraised to expand the size of the gym there, so they certainly should be commended on their accomplishment. And certainly I think we should be contacting Earl Grey Community Center and talking about a joint use agreement with them, given that I'm sure they're interested in using that facility for the larger community. Thank you.
Anyone else? Trustee Cullen?
On January 26th, I did attend the MSBA meeting, regional meeting. It took place by teleconference. I went to the office of MSBA. I didn't realize I was going to have to chair the meeting, but that's what happened. So I had to deal with all the resolutions. Ken Cameron made the remarks, and Floyd Martins chaired the nominations. And it was successful. We had a sufficient number of people calling in to transact the business we need to do. We saved money, considerable sums of money, by holding things by teleconference. Not everyone was completely happy about it, but I think it was a positive and worthwhile experience. So I hope you can come to the meeting later on.
Trustee Babinski.
Just a question in regards to the Manitoba School Board Association had the first teleconference. What were the numbers of the people that called in? Any idea?
I can't tell you off the top of my head, but I can find out.
Thank you.
Sorry, I should stand up. I don't know the exact numbers. It depended on the region, but I can get that information if you wish.
Yes, that would
Thanks.
be nice. Thank you.
there anybody else that has some inquiries and announcements, if you don't mind, trustees? I too, thank you for your kind remarks about the Naverandri. I too hold ambitions to do a lot more openings, in particular a school opening that we've all wanted. Naverandri was an opportunity to see something new. And see something beautiful. And it's not that we don't have, we have beauty and age in the Winnipeg School Division. But it's not so often that we see new education spaces, and so it is an opportunity. When Naverandri was an opportunity and an ambition that we hold. And yes, you know, I was told that my remarks were very subtle, and I will keep that in mind when I speech right on behalf of the Winnipeg School Division. But I also, of course, keep in mind the partnerships that we really want to have with people. On that same week, earlier in the week, I attended the Winnipeg Foundation's conversation on mental health supports. And I had an opportunity to hear from practitioners just how short those supports are. And in the coming weeks and the coming months, the Winnipeg Foundation will continue to host these conversations. We saw last week the Minister of Health letting a contract out to talk about mental health, and I think it's something that the school division has unique perspectives on. And so I encourage trustees to share your thoughts on mental health and going forward with those two initiatives, that of the Winnipeg Foundation and perhaps that we'll hear about soon from the Ministry of Health. I wanted to talk a bit about the funding announcement that we heard from the province. We, of course, I wanted to thank Trustee Broughton for his leadership on budget, and thank those trustees that I heard from after we did some of the media talking about the 1% we got on the 60% of the funding that the province does for the division, and thank you. It's always good to get your feedback on that, and as we move forward into budget, I'm looking forward to a good consultation with the community. I had the opportunity that the mayor afforded the whole city to walk against racism over the weekend, and I walked with Minister Ian Wishart and some of the members of the Legislative Assembly, and of course many of our city councillors that are good partners for Winnipeg School Division, and also our colleagues, some of our colleagues from the Manitoba School Boards Association, like Trustee Derek Davy from Seven Oaks Division. And it's an important, the mayor afforded us a really important opportunity, I think. It was one that he took when we shared that opportunity with him at Everybody Has a Right conference that's going to happen the next week in the division, and a dialogue that we've been having as a school division. And I was happy to march alongside the mayor and the premier and Ace Burpee again, who's always really good to our school division and our schools, and many other community leaders. And I think given what happened in the United States and that in terms of the travel ban that impacts so many of our parents and our community and our teachers and our staff, and our families, and the shootings in the mosque in Quebec City, I think that and I know that our administration deserves a world of thanks, because we know that we're a global village, and I know that you guys responded in particular to the shootings at the mosque, and I wanted to take the opportunity to thank you for that, and I really appreciate your leadership on that, because I know that we sent communications to our schools to lend support. So I didn't want to talk about human rights and human rights leadership and not acknowledge that which is happening in our own division. So thank you very much, everybody. New business. Condolences. That the board's sympathy be recorded with regret in the bereavement of the following. On December 19, 2016, Elizabeth Thomas retired clerk, a member of our staff for 19 years. On January 11, 2017, Elsie Unger, retired educational assistant, a member of our staff for 26 years. On January 13, 27, Stanley Pilichuk, retired custodian, a member of our staff for 22 years. On January 18, 2017, Eleanor Dorothy Elliott Gibson, retired clinician, a member of our staff for 20 years. On January 19, 2017, Saliva Ann Keller, retired education assistant, a member of our staff for 20 years. And that this motion be adopted by a silent standing vote. Thank you. Bylaw 1253, second and final reading, debenture borrowing promissory note for $1,553,000. Moved by trustee Broughton, seconded by trustee Naylor, that bylaw 1253, a bylaw of the Winnipeg School Division for the purpose of borrowing $1,553,000 for certain building projects be introduced and read a second time in short. Any discussion there is? Trustee Babinski, go ahead.
Question I have is on page 3 of the bylaw. It says there's a schedule of all the different projects, and I just was looking for clarification. I don't know if you guys are there. So, for example, the top line says Churchill, exterior maximum support was 105, but we actually spent 102. Is that how you interpret it? Is that how you would interpret it? So, for example, La Vérendrye, which is a few down, gym maximum would have been 5.2 million, but we actually only spent 4.3.
They may not have been all expended yet, but for instance, Churchill, this lab, we had $105,000 support. We expended $102,000.
Right.
And we borrowed $101,000, so the difference, of course, is just $200. So, yeah.
But the actual receipts came in at 102.
Yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to confirm how to read it. Thank you.
Okay.
I understand it. Thank you.
Is there any further discussion? All those in favor? Any opposed? Carried. Mr. Cochin, bylaw number 1253.
Bylaw of the Winnipeg School Division for the purpose of borrowing the sum of $1,553,000 and of issuing a debenture and or promissory note hereinafter called the security therefore.
Thank you. Moved by trustee Broughton, seconded by trustee Naylor, that the rules be suspended in order for bylaw 1253 be read a third time. This requires unanimous consent, so I just want to see all your hands. All those in favor? Any opposed? Thank you. Nobody was opposed. Carried. Moved by trustee Broughton, seconded by trustee Naylor, that bylaw 1253, a bylaw of the Winnipeg School Division, be read a third time in short and passed. Any discussion? All those in favor? Any opposed? Carried. Mr. Cochin.
A bylaw of the Winnipeg School Division for the purpose of borrowing the sum of $1,553,000 and of issuing a debenture and or promissory note hereinafter called the security therefore.
Green purchasing and procurement policy. Motion, notice of which was given by trustee Wasiliu on January 16, 2017. Do you have a seconder? You're going to move it, but do you have a seconder? Okay, so moved by trustee Wasiliu, seconded by trustee Reed, that the administration develop a draft policy in regards to a green purchasing and procurement policy. B, that the draft policy be referred to the Finance and Personnel Committee, the parent councils and staff for review and recommendations. Would you like to speak to this?
I would.
Okay, go ahead.
Obviously, one of the strategic goals of our division is to strengthen and enhance sustainable development initiatives. The province of Manitoba has given directions to the school boards to develop a green procurement policy. That happened a number of years ago. My understanding from the administration is that work began on that, but no draft policy ever was forthcoming to the board for review and implementation, and that was 6 years ago. This is something that I think is a bedrock of making a policy of a sustainable school division, something that needs to be in place. We spend millions each year on procurement. Many of those decisions already are being made with sort of green initiatives in mind. I think it's incumbent that we show our support for the direction the administration is already moving in with a policy that outlines basically our expectations in this area. And essentially what we're asking them to do is to complete the work that we started and to formally endorse it as a board as our policy. So with this motion, I'm hoping that we can get this work done and get this matter in place.
Is there any discussion?
Yeah.
Go ahead, trustee Babinski.
Question I have is the green policy that was put forward, it was a motion that was made 6 years ago?
No, 6 years ago, the administration, from what I've been told, started working on a green procurement policy. It never, as far as I know, got to the board level, and nothing went further than an initial draft within the administration. So,
Thank you.
Further discussion?
No.
All those in favor? Any opposed? Carried. Community involvement in education. Notice of motion by trustee Wassiliou to direct the administration to review and revise Winnipeg School Division Board Policy KMA, Community Involvement Education, and ensure that the policy A complies and incorporates duties and obligations set out in the Education Administration Act 1996 Regulation Advisory Council Leadership, bless you, including a framework for implementing S32 to include advisory council participation in advising the principal in drafting the local school budget and participate in the development of an annual school plan. B, establish duties and obligations on the local ward trustee to attend and participate at the advisory councils in her or his ward to facilitate communication between the board and the school community. Establish a duty and framework on local advisory councils and local school administration to develop and publish to the broader community a yearly community report that creates a brief report that provides a baseline of information about the school to the community in the past year. That the draft policy be referred to the Policy Program Committee for review and recommendations. Once the revised policy has been approved, that it be referred to the advisory councils for feedback and recommendations. Once a final draft is passed, that the Winnipeg School Division provide professional education to school administrators on the requirements for the public input set out in the policy and a framework of best practices for developing and implementing annual school plans and budgets. This matter will be added to the agenda for discussion at the next meeting, March 6, 2017. Indigenous artists in the schools. Notice of motion by trustee Wassiliou. Direct the administration to create a feasibility study for the creation of an Artists in the Schools, Artists in Residence program with specific focus on Indigenous artists for the exclusive use of the schools in the Winnipeg School Division, including anticipated costs of the program. Upon completion of the study, refer the matter to the Policy Program Committee for review and recommendation. This matter will be added to the agenda for discussion at the next meeting, March 6, 2017. Rideshare program. Notice of motion by trustee Wassiliou. Direct the administration to study the feasibility and costs associated with the creation and implementation of a rideshare program for the Winnipeg School Division, including recommendations on how the program could be established. That administration study and report what other school divisions' rideshare programs look like and what best practices have developed in this area. That the report and results of the feasibility study and program be referred to the Building Transportation Committee for review and further direction from the board. This matter will be added to the agenda for discussion at the next meeting, March 6, 2017. Special Committee, Winnipeg School Division Issues Council. Notice of motion by trustee Wassiliou. That the Board of Trustees of the Winnipeg School Division establish an ad hoc committee entitled Winnipeg School Division Food Issues Council, which is comprised of trustees, administration, Indigenous leaders, staff, parents, and community members to conduct a comprehensive review of Winnipeg School Division policies and programs related to food issues involving the division. That trustees to be determined blank and blank be nominated as members to ad hoc Winnipeg School Division Food Issues Council in accordance with procedural bylaw 1203. Clause 41.2 states any member who introduces a motion which results in the establishment of a special committee shall chair the committee. That administration, in consultation with trustees, develop a terms of reference for the ad hoc Winnipeg School Division Food Issues Council prior to April 10, 2017. that the administration work closely with the committee and provide research and logistical resources to conduct a full inquiry. That the committee provide a final report including recommendations and a model action plan for consideration of the Board of Trustees and administration. This matter will be added to the agenda for discussion at the next meeting, March 6, 2017. Agenda information items. Moved by trustee Babinski, seconded by trustee Koszalanek. Oh, sorry. Trustee Reed is going to stand in for trustee Koszalanek. So moved by trustee Babinski, seconded by trustee Reed, that superintendent's information report number 1, 2017 be received as information. Is there any discussion? All those in favor? Carried. Business matters is defined in Rule 43.7, moved by trustee Broughton and seconded by trustee Reed. Thank you. That the board
Hey,
move,
I thought we were going in camera here.
that the board move into business matters as defined in Rule 43.7. I'm all those in favor. Trustee Babinski? There you go. And will trustee Broughton, you just continue standing, sir.
Yes, thank you. I would like to recommend that the leaves of absence without salary as outlined in the confidential report dated February 6, 2017 be granted, and so moved.
All those, seconder, thank you, trustee Reed. All those in favor? Any opposed? Carried.
It's a recommendation that the suspension report dated September to December 2016 be received as information.
Thank you, trustee Naylor. All those in favor? Trustee Naylor. Carried.
Recommendation that the Winnipeg Teachers Association collective agreement be amended to include provisions for maternity top-up with a deferred implementation date.
Seconded by trustee Reed. All those in favor? Any opposed? Carried. It's a good day for women in the division.
The administration provided the board with an update on governance review, and the board discussed a forthcoming meeting with the Minister of Education and Training.
Thank you. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Thank you, trustee Collins. All those in favor? I think we've got consensus. Have a good night, everybody.